And I send them because I did it too. Can you let me know right now, please? Anita afternoon.
What's going on, everybody, from the world of YouTube and all podcasted platforms? My name is Matt Brown, and I am the host of the Productive Conversations podcast. And the world is a better place because you are here to join us. It is a Friday, a feel good Friday, April 18th, 2025. And it has been a busy week in this crazy world of ours. So let's get into it and talk about what was trending. This is your TweetCap, your Friday TweetCap. My name, and I just want to say Ryan and Jose are in the building today. What's up, Ryan and Jose?
How's it going? It says Ryan Page again because I had a thing for my old college today, so it was pretty funny. I got on it and it said co-host Ryan. I did two talks, two different classes. In the first class, the entire time, no one said anything either. It just said co-host Ryan. And again, I never met these people before. I did tell them about the podcast. I told them to like and subscribe, of course.
Better.
So hopefully they do. But yeah, it said co-host Ryan, and then finally in the second class, as it was getting started, I realized that my Zoom said co-host Ryan, so I had to change it. And now I'm supposed to change. I can change it right now. Why not?
Hey.
But I'm doing good, Matt. How are you?
It's great to have you. It's great to have Jose. Jose, you had a similar day than Ryan, as Ryan?
Nope. I had no classes to teach. Unless y'all want to be players, you can message us. Or IG me and I can help you out from there.
That's right. That's at Junior Rivera 203, right?
Yep.
All right. Check that out on Instagram. And before we get into the great show we're about to give you, I just want to remind you to like and subscribe to the Productive Conversations podcast on all podcasting platforms and YouTube. And don't forget to check out exclusive content regarding the show across all social media platforms and YouTube. We're on Instagram at Productive Conversations Podcast, X and Twitter at PodConvoPod. We're on TikTok at Productive Conversations and Facebook at Productive Conversations. And as always, I just want to give a shout out to our presenting sponsor, Magic Mind. The Magic Mind is a little green tea shot packed with matcha, adaptogens, nootropics, and all the good stuff. And honestly, it's been a total game changer for me and Ryan and everybody else who has had the pleasure to try Magic Mind. I take it alongside my morning Celsius, and boom, I'm locked in for the day. No crazy crashes, no jittery feelings, just smooth focus energy. And the best part, I got you on the hookup. It's go to magicmind.com/PCLT20 for 20% off a one-time purchase or up to 48% off your first subscription using the code PCLT20. Check out the code in the description below on all podcast platforms and YouTube. So busy week. It's coming to an end, but we got a lot of great stuff that happened. We reacted to the Masters. We previewed the NBA playoffs. We previewed the NHL playoffs. And then we previewed WrestleMania. Check out all that content that's available for you. We have another busy week next week. We're going to react to WrestleMania 41 right on Sunday night. That should be available for you late Sunday, early Monday. Another tweet cap on Tuesday. We got an NFL draft this week. We're going to preview the NFL draft on our sports tweet cap. That's available for you on Wednesday. And then we will have another tweet cap Friday. And we'll also have a reaction to the first round of the NFL draft on Friday as well. And that's what I got for you. Things are getting nice and cozy in the spring. So let's us enjoy it and let's talk life. All right. So what's the first thing I should talk about? We should talk about, I should say, what's our first productive conversation? It was earlier in the week, but it was something literally out of this world. So did you hear about... Did you hear about the Blue Origin's NS-31 mission that took place on the 14th, just 3 days ago on Monday? You know
All
what
over the news.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a pretty big one.
All right. Well, it was a all-female crew cast, pretty much all celebrities in a way, which include Aisha Bowe, a former NASA aerospace engineer, Amanda Nyungen, a civil rights activist, Nobel Peace Prize, and the first Vietnamese and Southeastern Asian to be in space, Gail King, the journalist and co-host CBS Mornings, Kieran Flynn, a film producer, and Lauren Sanchez, another journalist, and that's also Jeff Bezos'
Girlfriend or
fiance.
whatever. Fiance, I'm sorry.
Yes, and then we had
Mhm.
Katy Perry, who, the global pop star and all of that. Well, they decided to go in space doing rich people things. They were up there for about 10 minutes and 21 seconds and about 62 miles above Earth. Then they went home and they were telling us how great it was to be in space. And all seriousness, great stuff for the first all-female for the first ever all-female represented the first all-female woman-led mission. That's awesome to see. It should inspire future generations. But we got some nice pictures to show as Ryan with the parody out there with Katy Perry. But one of the funny things that Katy Perry wanted to let us know is she said this quote after returning from space, which is strange.
I hope they can see the unity that we modeled and replicate that and understand that we weren't just taking up space, we were making space for the future. And for me, like Gail said, this wasn't a ride, it wasn't a destination, it was a journey, and it was a supernatural one. And my journey has always been about love and belonging. And I think that we have all felt that sometimes we weren't worthy or we didn't belong in certain ways, no matter all the accolades, no matter all the studying, no matter anything. And I think today we all said it, like, we belong here. Mm-hmm. This is where we belong, and we feel very sure of that. So I think that you'll never know the amount of love that you have inside of you to give and to receive until the day you launch, because you're leaving all the love behind, and you're.
All right. I don't
What
know.
the fuck is she talking
That
about?
was wild. That was insane.
The main thing, uniting us.
What was that? That was crazy.
It's
Didn't
like
mean anything.
Celebrities really don't know what the hell. I feel 90% of celebrities really don't know what it's like to be a regular person anymore once they get on that level, and that is a perfect example of that. And that's why you saw a viral tweet of Wendy saying, "Can she stay up there?" I don't know if you saw that.
I mean, I would love to hear what Gail King said.
Mm-hmm.
As a journalist, she's also a celebrity. She's on TV, but she is not technically. She is factually a journalist. I would love to try and get a more like,
substantial
reporter's
answer.
view
Yeah.
of what it was like and what they saw. Because what's interesting is when you look at a lot of the folks, there's some value, right? You had somebody who's got, a scientist that was on there. We talked about Nobel Prize winning.
Yeah.
Scientists.
Very accomplished people. Very accomplished women.
Well, they're all very accomplished, including Katy Perry,
true.
obviously.
Yes.
But and then you have a few people that make kind of sense for a space mission. And then you got Gail King, and she's obviously got a TV platform. I love Gail King. And I could see that as like an interesting thing to be like reporting back from space. Even the filmmaker, having someone be able to see space, and then go ahead and start producing either, documentary or real or fictional films set in space or around space travel, etc. All very interesting. All can be ways to kind of talk about space. Katy Perry going up there was two things. One, I believe she's friends with Bezos' fiance, who also went up. And so, her friend was going up. And two, Bezos, Musk, I guess they're probably the main two. Maybe Richard Branson. Does he have rockets? The Virgin Mobile guy? I think he might. Anyway, doesn't matter. They all want this world where people travel to space the way they travel to, like, Cancun,
London.
London, right? Like, oh, I'm going to vacation. in space. And that's why Katy Perry was there, to show that literally anybody can do this. You know what I mean? Like that, I hate to say that, but that's why. Katy Perry has no qualification to be in space. She's got nothing that she can provide for us now that she's back. Because she was up there, like nothing will change in Katy Perry's life other than she got a really cool experience. And that's basically all they wanted, was for Katy Perry, who's gonna have all these people to talk um, to talk about how cool it was, so people will be more interested in doing it. However, they didn't realize how weird Katy Perry was, because I don't understand what she was saying. Like, what the hell was that? That didn't
Don't you
make any
hate when
sense.
people try to sound smart
Yeah,
when
that
they
was, she was
really
trying
is
to be
using
like
big
profound.
words?
And I'm sure that,
And only
look,
the opposite happened.
look, I cannot imagine.
Listen,
like,
Katy Perry's not 2011 anymore.
that too, but I can't imagine, truthfully, if I had been, obviously the picture has me up there. If I had been up there, seeing the Earth from literal space, leaving the planet and then coming back down safely in 10 minutes, 10 minutes time. I spent 10 minutes above the sky. I mean, think about that. 10 minutes above the sky. That's an absolutely just unfathomable thing to look at. And on one side, you see our world as it gets smaller and smaller. On the other side, it's just complete void. The black of everything. It is profound. I can't disagree with her. I'm sure it's profound. But one, very hard to describe that to people who were not there, right? You can only imagine, and our minds are pretty frankly not capable of imagining it. And two, the way she tried to describe it was about love and fullness. Why are you thinking about, oh, I have so much love to give now that I see space? That's weird. That's a weird reaction to have. And maybe it was her true reaction, in which case, she got is her truth, right? But like, why are you thinking about, man, I could be so much more loving to the people in my life when you're looking at the universe up close? So, yeah, I don't know. I find it weird that that was her reaction, and my initial thought is that wasn't a real reaction. That was just her trying to make it sound like going to space gives you this profound insight and monologue, and I'm sure it does in some ways, but I don't know. That ain't it, Chief.
We all be honest. We just wanted her to say, "I went up there to tell the aliens I kissed the girl and I liked it." That was
Well,
it.
I mean, she could go a little bit more, I think, than that. I don't know that I would agree with
It's fucking
that.
Katy Perry.
I mean,
God
listen,
damn.
that would have been funny.
This is the girl that married Russell Brand, for God's sakes.
Yeah, well, he's something too, isn't he?
Yeah, exactly. And she dealt with that motherfucker. And he's the one that broke up with her. So you tell me what looks worse.
Well, I mean, honestly, that worked out nicely for Katie. I won't lie to you. Russell Brand's Russell Brand. But yeah. She definitely was trying to speak like a philosopher or a poet. And I
Right.
get that. That was technically the role she was playing, right? She was the artist on board, but she's still a pop star. I feel like she should have been, frankly, a little bit more accessible. She should have been more honest and, use regular words, be like, yeah, that was freaking cool. Again, above the sky, people understand that. They can't comprehend it, but they understand it. That's a hard thing to do. That's a crazy thing to do. And anybody, including Katy Perry, can do it now. All you need to do is have a rich friend. And so, and one day that will probably change. I won't lie to you. It won't, maybe not in our lifetime even, but at some point, you might not need a rich friend. You might just need a decent job. And you can go to space. Maybe for 10 minutes, maybe for 10 days.
When
I don't
do
know.
you think prices are going to go down for that?
What do you mean?
You thinking people are just going to go, like regular people are going to go be able to go do that shit?
I said someday, yeah. Not in our lifetime, but someday.
Goddamn Ryan Pope.
What is
Fuck,
that, Pope?
you can't even go on half the fucking American can't even afford a fucking cruise to the Bahamas.
Well,
And
yeah,
you're gonna
right.
go out
I'm
one day?
saying that the folks who can afford a cruise someday will be able to afford space.
Oh, no.
Everyone moves up
Seriously
one.
doubt it.
Everyone moves up one. That's what I'm saying. And I don't know what the billionaires will do. They'll have like colonies on I don't know. They'll start doing like the Miss Frizzle from Magic School Bus. They'll be shrinking down and going into the human body to like go see
Let's
cells or something. I don't know what they're gonna do, but
they're just gonna raffle this ship, win a free. The only way any of us normal people are gonna be able to go on that is if they raffle off a
see,
free trip,
here's what
and
you're not.
that's it.
Here's what you're not considering. And again, this is why Katy Perry was on the trip, by the way. Why they all had to listen to her talk about love and fullness and whatever not, because she was, by the way, the whole way freaking up she was probably talking about that nonsense, and the whole way down she talked about that. She kissed the ground when she landed. She was there for 10 minutes, but anyway, so
Well, she kissed a dirtier thing, so it's not
no, yeah,
a
Russell
shock.
Brand, but I'm saying that no, she kissed the ground because when anyway, it doesn't matter. My point is that the reason they have Katy Perry is because they want us regular people, because we don't know that Nobel whatever, the Nobel laureate. We don't know the other person. We don't even really know that filmmaker. It wasn't a super famous filmmaker. You know who we know? We know what's his
Katy
name?
Perry.
Shatner. He went up there. Old man, William Shatner went up there. And we know Katy Perry. We know who they are. They feel accessible because they're just celebrities. We have celebrities around all the time. That's why they were there, to get people interested in the idea that they could go. And the reason they want that, I think, from the beginning, is that these billionaires, they're running out of things to make us pay for. And they're also, one of them less so than the others, or more so, less so than the others, but they're running out of things to be in charge of. They're already in charge of our entire lives. Everything we buy, everything we pay for, everything, all of our money transactions, they own all of it. So they're trying to make a planet. They're literally trying to get people to go, or a space station or something. They want to have something out of this world that they can control and make us want to go see. So I do think they're going to try and make it cheaper. Really, I do. I think they're going to try and figure out a way to make it less expensive to go to space, so that way people who are not Katy Perry can afford to do it. I really think that that's where this ends. Now, I don't know how close we are. I would say probably not close at all. But that, I believe, is the end game for these guys.
Unbelievable.
Do you really think Gail, or what's her name, Gail Knight or whatever,
Gail
makes more?
Gayle King.
Gail
Oprah's
King.
BFF.
Yeah.
Do you really think she makes more money than fucking Katy Perry?
No, none of these people had to pay. This was paid for by Jeff Bezos. It's his rocket. He just let them
Yeah,
use it.
but I'm saying you're supposed to, us normal folks, because I see Katy Perry do it. I
Yeah.
feel like,
This is
oh,
a
I
market.
can't
Yes,
for me.
this is called a marketing scheme. They're getting people used to the idea that anyone can go to space. And by time they're ready to send anybody to space, they will have had to figure out a way to make that affordable. They haven't done that part yet. This is the beginning. They're trying to launch a product, and they're getting people excited for it. So that way, when the product does launch, it won't be a failure. Because here's the thing.
You know,
If you go, no, hold on. If you go 0 to 100, right? We don't talk about space. We don't talk about space. We see, don't talk about it. We know the Challenger. We've seen all of Elon's rockets blow up back in the day, right? Like, we know about these blowing up. We know space is dangerous, all this, that, the other thing. All of a sudden, Bezos says, I can send you to space. You can go to space. All you have to do is pay me. Let's say it's affordable too. Let's say it's not super expensive. It's affordable. People will be scared to go to space. That seems hard. You have to train a long time. Not everybody makes it back. You know what I mean? Like, space is scary. That's just the way people are. They're not going to want to do that. It's going to be something that's out of their concept. By doing this, while you're developing a way to make it cheaper, you're getting people used to the idea that people can go up to space for 10 minutes and come back, that they can go up to space for a week to come back. Again, they're going to keep working at this to make it so people are no longer scared, because if people are scared of your product, they're not going to buy it. Being able to send someone to space is not useful if nobody's willing to go up to space. So by giving people who are important free rides to and from space, they can convey that message to everybody that this was cool, this was safe, I would do it, you should do it too if you ever get the chance. And then, however many years from now, when they can send them up, they'll say, remember that long line of people who went to space? Now you can do that too. And now you've got all these associations of Katy Perry, of William Shatner, of Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, all these people who've been to space. Like, you have that now as your point of reference, as opposed to just space is scary, you have to be a highly trained astronaut, all that stuff.
No, not for me. All
I
right.
agree. Not for me
next.
either, but
So, We talk about shooting a shot in this show. We talk about, taking advantage of your opportunities. And I got an example from Monday's Atlanta Braves Toronto Blue Jays game of this actually happening with the sideline reporter for the Braves, Willie Bollard, who engaged in a light-heart interaction with a fan in the stands. Let me show you exactly what I mean.
Wiley, how are things up there at the Corona rooftop?
Things are pretty great, Brandon. We're having a lot of fun up here up the Corona rooftop. Who do we got here? What's your name?
My name's Lauren.
Lawrence, all right.
And I'm Kayla.
Kayla, and you guys hang out at the rooftop lounge often?
Once a year I come out to visit.
Okay, well, we timed it pretty well. All right, good. How are you guys feeling about rooting for the Braves today?
Oof, I don't know. I'm hoping for the best.
What about you? Are you a Braves fan now?
Not quite.
Not quite. All right, I'm gonna go to work up here, guys. Good luck the rest of the way.
Okay, Wiley. You got 4 innings to get the numbers.
Come on.
Get us some more Braves fans.
All right, so they want me to get your number.
Wow.
I'm dead serious. They're saying in my ear right now. She doesn't believe me because she thinks you guys are not. I'm making this up. Even if you guys weren't, I might use that in the future. That's actually a pretty good move.
This is unbelievable.
So the best part of this right now is that Wiley could totally be faking it. This might be the new move. You just walk around with a FanDuel microphone and an earpiece in and convince fans that they're actually on TV.
I should have thought of this years ago.
It worked.
I am speechless.
I got the number. We're good.
I am without speech.
First time in
I'm a little nervous.
broadcast history.
That's dope.
awesome.
Wow.
Now I have to
awesome.
listen. Good job, Wiley. I hope you had a great time getting to know that person, even though you live in Atlanta. She's at least in Toronto, so who knows what they did after. Maybe they only had enough time to spend one night. And I hope it was a great
All
night.
you need,
Oh, shit.
you only need one night, not a month. One night.
Dude, that was awesome, right? That's all. He's like I like the
think,
idea
yeah.
of bringing the mic around and showing
Yeah.
showing that. Oh, those girls
FanDuel's
are very
asking.
pretty. Those girls are pretty too.
I mean, yeah. Well, they were on TV. They wanted to impress. I mean, he's a strapping young lad, obviously. Although
He just
his
won the
voice-
2024 Georgia Sportscaster of the Year.
Well, that's fun. His voice is very Kermit the Frog, I will say, and so that part was shocking to me, that they weren't a little bit tired of listening to him talk. But maybe that's just his broadcaster voice. I don't know, but that's all I could hear. It was giving Patrick Mahomes to me. But yeah, no, that's awesome. That worked, and B, that his coworkers in the booth basically just stopped covering the game to talk about whether or not he was going to score the number. And I think that's pretty funny because there was a game going on. Someone ran. We saw there was a hit. They didn't mention any of that. They were busy talking about the Corona rooftop and the numbers game, so to speak.
But I got to tell you guys, as we're enjoying a nice lighthearted moment, there are, of course, people who criticize this move. Like
Sure.
Kate Feldman of CBS Sports described the incident as one of the most insanely inappropriate things I've ever seen. Chelsea Janes of the Washington Post highlighted the double standard, stating that if a female reporter did that, it would end her career.
No.
Dallas
No,
Morning
definitely
News
not.
commented on inherent gender equality. CBS Detroit criticized it, called it misogynistic. Tegan Brown, no relation, expressed concern over glorifying the moment. Man, see, people really don't want to see people happy and in love. Who cares?
Well, I
It
don't
was
think they're in love,
especially,
but-
you know what I mean. A nice special moment together. Especially for baseball, a slow sport where you do have not a lot of action to keep those broadcasts interesting. You should have those moments. And for those who are hating, go touch grass. Have a productive conversation with yourself, and get a life.
Well, actually, if you're any of those people and you want to have a productive conversations, you can go ahead and hit us up, right? And so any social media platform, we'll respond, get you on the show, and we'll do a whole episode on why that was or was not inappropriate. But I'll be honest, we have a pretty wide array
Obviously, even just between the three of us, and then we have all of our various guests that we have on. I don't know that I can name a single person that we have ever had on this show, no matter where they fall on the spectrum of, worldview, politics, etc., who would find that to be, what was it, highly inappropriate, whatever the word was
Yeah,
used.
that was one person literally said that.
Like, yeah, obviously that wasn't baseball related, but in case anybody wasn't sure, he was going to do that anyway. The broadcast team did not force that upon anybody. He was going to try and get their numbers anyway. And guess what? She was going to give him her number anyway. They were standing there. They were enjoying the game. It was clearly meant to be lighthearted. And honestly, if she hadn't wanted to do it, like millions of guys and girls who do not want the person flirting with them to have their number, she could have A, given them a fake number, or B, she could have been like, no. Because again, they're in Toronto. She'd be like, no, you're a Braves fan. I'm sorry. I only date Blue Jays fans, right? Or whatever. I only talk to Blue Jays fans. And that would have been the end of it. Everybody would have had a good laugh, be like, oh, well, you tried. And then they would have moved on to talking about whatever was happening in the baseball game. It was not that serious, guys. Seriously, it wasn't. But if you think that's wrong, right? If you're a person, and you don't have to be one of those people, although if you're one of those people we just called out directly by name, let us know. But if you're not, and you still agree with those people, still reach out. Because I would love to hear, and not like a bleed on social media. I don't want to hear your 240 characters or more if you have a blue check about why this is misogynistic and all that shit. I don't want to. I for one, I think I'm a pretty solid ally for women. I think that the way women are treated in most cases is factually not great. It's not fair. This is not one of those times. And so I would love to have you on to not just give us sound bites. And we'll do the same, have an actual conversation. And we need more of that because this is not going away. This dichotomy is not changing. And it's going to make things harder and harder if the genders, because, let's just be honest. I'm not going to, we don't have to reread the names. We shouldn't reread the names, but go back if you're listening to this and listen to the folks who are upset about this. We can't keep having a 50-50 argument about any time people of two different sexes or genders are in the same space. We can't do it. It's not going to work. We're going to tear each other apart. So that's stupid. Now I'm upset. This was a fun story. Now I'm upset that people were mad about it. So thanks, Matt, for ruining a fun story.
Oh, man. Thanks, everybody, for pissing off Ryan.
Yeah. What the hell, guys?
Don't want that. But yeah, those people who were jealous of that moment probably would wish they were them, that they can have a nice, easier moment.
There's just people who just don't like fun. They don't like fun.
There could be that too, but who cares? Literally, who cares? But if we're going to go, let's keep the theme going, right? We had the shoot the shot moment. Why don't I share you a viral moment of two people truly coming together in a romantic moment? They have this show, the what's the name of this damn show? This internet show with it's like I don't know, you've seen it before.
Pop the balloon?
No, it's not Pop the Balloon. It's like
they have the ones
this
where they're
line.
hidden.
Yeah, it's lines, and they're like, "Hey, what do you think of this? If you don't want to have a date with them, you hit the thing, right? You hit the something like that."
They ask questions, and then you'd be like, "You out, you in." That's what. Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. I just can't think of the show. But here's a nice wholesome moment here. Let's keep the wholesome moments going.
All right.
Trust me, this is really wholesome. I really like this. We have Emile and this girl who will tell her name in a minute. Right now.
I'm good. I fuck with your shirt heavy. That's cool as hell.
Thanks.
I'm Carter.
I'm Emile.
Nice to meet you, Emile.
Carter.
Nice to meet you. I love your dress. Is that a dress?
Yeah, it is a dress. It is.
That's a good color on you.
Thank you.
Emile, what are you looking for in a partner?
Me.
Yeah, Carter. A best friend. I don't know.
Yeah. That's a vibe.
Emile is scared of roller coasters.
Oh, I love roller coasters.
You do?
Yeah.
I want to love them.
I mean, if you just want to watch me go on one, that's fine. We can still go to the fair.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
Emile, are you attracted to Carter?
A little, yeah. What? Yeah.
Carter, do you think Emile's a cutie?
Yeah, of course. I mean, you're super cute.
You caught my eye in the dress.
Really?
Yeah.
This is going well.
It is.
Is there anything for you that's like red flags?
If you have no sense of humor, and if you don't think I'm funny, then we're just probably not gonna get along.
I'm definitely not funny.
That's okay. I can be funny enough for the both of us.
Yeah. What's your perfect first date?
I mean, a picnic would be cute, but I don't really go on dates at all. So any kind of date is my ideal date.
I like where this is going. Feel the sparks. I'm gonna turn red one more time. And if neither of you hit me, I think we've got a second date on our hand. Emil, Carter, congratulations. You have won the button.
What's up, man?
Wow. Huh?
That is the
That's
first
not-
time I ever saw someone fucking get a second date.
I've
Yeah,
actually-
on that
this
show.
is-
Yeah, exactly.
That's not the show I thought it was, so that's cool.
So we'll just say the
Uh,
button show.
Yeah, the
And
button.
yeah, wasn't that what? When no, I don't think we should have any criticisms here, right? Two genuine people having
No,
sparks.
you
Huh?
both you could both tell they were feeling each other and they were interested in each other. Well, more they were attracted to each other, if anything.
Yeah, I was about to say they were interested in each other in some capacity, right?
So-
Who knows
Right.
how much was
It's
attraction?
possible
versus
now.
whatever.
It's possible now, right?
I mean, you went up from a 25% shot to 50. So I mean, yeah.
You thought this was real too? This wasn't staged or anything. We did it, huh?
I don't think. I mean,
I don't know why they would stage
why
that.
would you stage it? Either way, it's good content.
Exactly.
You don't need them to do
because there's so
anything,
many
right?
people. It's just so weird because you see, literally 99% of people get don't make second dates, and we finally
Right.
have a real, genuine match.
That's what I mean. Like, either way, if they didn't match, it would have been fine, because that's still good content. So I don't know why they would pretend to match somebody, other than I guess maybe people were getting upset that no one ever matched. But that would almost be a better gimmick. Be like, no one's ever
No,
matched.
I think people are upset because there is a match because they're just fucking haters. Depressed, lonely fucks that just want to hate on everybody's shit.
Yeah, well, there you go.
You're damn right, Jose. You're damn right. Now, once and for all, we'll keep this theme going. Last but not least, a fall in love moment, a viral wet marriage proposal. This is what we're gonna show you right now. Have you seen this viral wedding proposal, guys?
No, I mean maybe, but no, I don't think so. Not seen one recently.
Well, you'll like this one. Here we go.
I can't imagine myself living without you.
Oh shit.
Wow.
I can't. So you know what? Babe? Will you marry me?
I
Peep
feel like
that
someone's.
third comment. Peep that
someone's.
third comment.
I feel like someone stole that from Ryan. I feel like Ryan, you did some shit like that.
No. Not even close, by the way. But did you peep that third comment on that video, Matt?
What'd they say?
It said they're already married. That's some of that free drink shenanigans. That's where I landed on that.
They could.
She was. So he was crying. In case anybody was, couldn't tell based on
It
the
could
audio.
be. I got to get a confirmation, but the Carl Winslow type of person definitely was at least funny about it. Could be.
Yeah. But I'm saying, like, okay,
That's
so
what people do
he's-
to get free
No,
drinks.
well, I mean, you would get a free drink if that happened, yes. But or free something. But no. So like, he was so over the top, right? And whatever. Some people are really like that, but she was not. She was like covering her mouth a little bit, but and maybe she wiped her eye like once, but she was not overly. And if your man is that dramatic, I feel like you are not going to be some like stoic monk. Like, I feel like either you both going to be drama in that particular scenario if that's how he's reacting to proposing, right? So that's why I think that he was like, hey, babe, watch this. And then he took off her ring and proposed to her in the restaurant. And again, overacted, hammed it up. But if not, obviously, congratulations. And frankly, If it is, congratulations again. It was very funny, and you guys clearly have a good, strong relationship that you're willing to do that in a public setting.
Yeah, they definitely have fun together.
So, yeah, either whether they're married now or they've been married, they definitely like to have a good time. They definitely enjoy hanging out with one another, and that's all you can ask for in a partner like that. So that's good.
Isn't that sweet, huh?
I agree.
Yes.
All right, guys. Now, all right. So now I'm gonna show you a story. Interesting. Oh man. All right. No one take the. This isn't funny, but this is definitely something I didn't see coming. Right. So in all seriousness, bullying shouldn't bully, right? No bullying. No matter what you are or where you come from, you shouldn't be bullied. But how about this story? In a night school, there's a viral moment of a guy who was bullied by his class, and the teacher goes off on the students. Do you want to know what he was bullied for?
What?
Oh, I think I saw this. Yeah.
I've
Go
not
ahead.
seen this. I have no idea.
He was bullied for wearing a MAGA hat by a whole class of night school students, and this teacher did not tolerate it. So here we go. Was that it, Jose? Is this it? Did you hear about this?
I think so.
So
That
here we
sounds familiar.
go. A MAGA guy getting bullied.
Do you know how it feels to get bullied? Do you understand how it feels to get bullied?
Yeah,
Do
this
you
is it.
understand? There's people out here in this world really getting bullied, and they killing themselves because of this type of stuff. You need to be ashamed. All y'all need to go home and think about this. Matter of fact, I want y'all to all come in with papers, 10 pages on bullying, because I'm not going to stand for that. Are you okay? I want y'all to apologize right now. Apologize right now or get out my classroom. You shouldn't have worn that hat. Apologize right now. Get the fuck out my classroom. Get out of your classroom. Goodbye. Goodbye. Sorry. Are you okay? Sorry. Are you okay? Do you know how?
Okay. So I have to say that teacher should be applauded for standing up for people who got bullied. There's a stereotype of people in part of the MAGA community, whether you like them or not, where they're often the ones bullying people.
And they are.
And now the tides have turned for this situation, and the message still stands. You shouldn't bully no matter what.
Yeah, I mean, that teacher's right. And I'll say this. This is a quick story, but it kind of actually applies to this, although it is in the other direction. So, but
You're
that's
the
fine.
bullier?
No, I wasn't. I was not a bully or the bullier. So in college, 2016, right after the election, I was taking a class called Campaigns, Voters, and Elections. I was the UA president, so I'd done a lot of activities based around voter engagement, voter registration, etc. So there was this person that I had been working with. She was a sophomore, I think, maybe even a freshman. I was a senior. And she was, very big in the Democratic community, like in the local area. She's native to the school I went to. And she helped me out a lot. She, very into it. And she was obviously a big Hillary Clinton person. And there was a few people in my class, guys, no surprise, my age, they're all seniors, who were Trump supporters in 2016. And obviously Trump won. And so we had class that day, the day after. So we walk into class. And they kept going, they kept laughing at this woman because Clinton lost. And, finally one of them said he trumped that bitch.
Oh.
And so, yeah, right? So I stood up and I said, dude, you won. Just fucking drop it. And I mean, obviously everybody knows my politics. Everyone knows I do not like that man in particular. But the reality is, whoever you voted for, you know what? You're going to have to make right by that on your own time. To put it mildly, if you support Kamala, if you support Trump, if you support whoever, there'll come a time, I don't know when everybody's going to have to look at themselves in the mirror and decide, did I do the right thing? I don't know when that will be. And you might say yes. And that's great if you do say yes. But the public discourse about all of this cannot continue. I mean, they tried to kill Donald Trump in July. A man tried to burn down the governor of Pennsylvania's house with his small children inside on the first day of Passover. This governor's Jewish. We can't do this anymore. It doesn't work. I mean, forget about, I mean, that teacher's right. You bully somebody, you never know what they're going to do to themselves and how that will weigh on your soul. But we're having these fights out in the open about apparel and identity. And it's not even just the normal identity fights. It's about whether you wore a red hat or have blue hair. And there are people, myself, I've been a part of this. I'm going to call us out. Matt, Jose, we've all done this. It's human nature, especially when we get into the tribalist side of politics and the, red versus blue, yet whatever. Everyone does it. And we all have to try and be better about it. So I do applaud the teacher. It was not probably a popular thing that she did. She's probably receiving a lot of nasty emails and maybe even some pressure from the school for what she did. I think that gentleman voted for an incredibly incompetent person to be president. I think that we're all going to live with the mistakes of having elected that person president. I've said that before, and I'll keep saying it. But that doesn't mean you can publicly ridicule him. That's not how we work. That's not how we should work. And social media, frankly, is the reason that we do it that way, because we can do it anonymously on Twitter. And so we started doing it in real life, and it's a real shame that we've lost what it means to be real people in the real world because of our Twitter selves. But here we are.
Yeah, dude. And I applaud that. Good work, Ryan. And that's why the Bill Maher meeting with Trump type of situations are good and important. So our different sides can meet instead of talking shit and bullying and cause these weird viral moments. Well, it's not weird, but these type of viral moments of people screaming at something you were taught not to do when you were a child.
Right. And listen, to be clear, as Matt said, I don't know what this guy does in his free time. This story changes entirely if after the election he came in and he started throwing up losers, started yelling at these people. If he said, Trump that bitch when he walked in on the day after the election. And I'll own that right now. I don't know. And if that's the case, then this is totally different. I take back most of what I said. But just wearing a hat should not be cause for mass ridicule. That there's nothing wrong with wearing a hat, even if that hat is frankly indicative of a, something that I can't possibly still to this day understand.
Yeah, and don't wear hats, that are offensive either.
I mean, sure, yeah. Obviously, as the person pointed out, he did not have to wear the hat. And that does happen a lot with these folks. They put themselves in a position to get yelled at. But I don't know. But no, seriously. Yeah, there's remember that one guy who said I voted for the felon, and he sat on the plane and he wanted someone to yell at him, and nobody did, thankfully, because he wanted it. That was on purpose. He wanted to go viral. He wanted to be like, look at these deranged liberals. This guy was crying. He's a big dude. He was crying. So that leads me to believe he was not anticipating. Certainly not what he got. Maybe he was anticipating some pushback. But it's clear that he wasn't anticipating what he received because the tears seemed genuine to me anyway.
That's right. And again, applaud the teacher for saying some amazing stuff.
Yeah.
One person not to applaud and another person we talked about was Nico Harrison, who once again goes viral. But hey, at this moment, the Dallas Mavericks are playing for the 8th seed in the West Coast in the NBA playoffs. But
wow.
This week, Dallas Mavericks GM Nico Harrison faced significant criticisms following the team's recent struggles. The backlash then testified over the Luka trade, getting traded Anthony Davis and re-aggravating an abdominal injury in his first game back. And basically what happened was he calls a press conference where he chose the media members, wasn't recorded. So I don't have any footage of this press conference, but he stands firm. He says he has no regrets, and he says they're just going to focus, get ready for the draft of the season's over, focus on their playoff run for what they can make of it. And yeah, it's crazy. As the weeks go by, the Mavs seem worse and worse and worse. And there was an anonymous GM who went out and says, I hope Nico Harrison stays. It's good to have a desperate GM out there.
Yeah, he'll just start making any old trade to try and do something different.
I mean, we talk about this dude really is an infamy. Not to rehash the story once again, but I just don't get why they just keep doing these decisions that, like, common sense. If you're going to do a press conference to talk to the media and you choose which media members you can have, they're going to know about it. Somebody's going to leak you're doing this anyways. That's another thing. And you just are a clown, bro. You're just such a clown.
Yeah, that's very North Korea. We're not recording it, and it's only people that I like coming in. You know what I mean? Like, what?
That's one dumb thing the president does, I will say, though, too.
Yeah, no, it's exactly what the current
everybody.
president does as well. I mean, again, the last guy did talk to anybody, but this guy will only talk to people who like him, and that's weird too. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know which one's better, being completely absent or having fake press conferences with only people that you selected to ask questions that you approved of. But definitely, they're both bad, and they're both bad ways to build trust. And when you've got no trust, like he does, I mean, he's out of trust. Like, that's the thing. The Luka trade, whether it ends up working or not, fine. But the reality is, at this moment in time, he's out of trust. By trading him, whatever gamble that was on his mind, that he thought that this was going to help him or that he could use this to his advantage to leverage this, assuming that's the case, he literally lost 100% of the trust that he had from the fan base, probably from the coaching staff, and probably from most of the players. Like, he is out of
only the cheap owners who want him. Only the cheap owners. Yeah. That's what will keep him there.
Well, sure, but I'm saying he's out of capital.
Dallas win?
They're in the play-in for the 8th seed.
Yes, they're gonna go to the 8th seed, and they don't have any chance. They're gonna get swept by OKC if they even get there.
Like, nobody gave them a chance against Kings, and they stayed.
The Kings are bad too. It's a team that is 8 games under 500 versus a team with 6 games under 500, and they just fired their GM after that loss. Kings are a mess too.
Yeah, I don't know, Jose. This is a weird thing to defend. What did Cat Williams say?
Did he try to rape him?
No, I forget what's the
no.
quote.
You're talking about that's unlike you with losers. It's unlike
you're
you.
Associating with losers, and that's unlike you. What are you talking about? They beat a bad team. A bad team beat a different bad team, and now they're gonna have to play a good team. They're gonna get absolutely wrecked.
If they win, they're playing now.
If they can even make it into the playoffs, they're gonna get absolutely wrecked. So he's out of goodwill.
They'll play that tomorrow night against the Grizzlies, who ironically also have had a shit. That's 2 of the teams in the West that made weird in-season moves are going to play each other for the 8th seed and then just get swept by OKC. That will be on Friday.
Exactly. And that will be on Friday. So I would say that he's got a lot. He might have lofty plans, but he's got absolutely nobody's trust to do them. And usually when that happens, when you want to make big moves and nobody trusts you, you don't make big moves. You make tiny moves and try and pretend they're big moves, and you just spiral out of control. This is the end. I'm telling you now. They will not be contenders while he's around. It's not going to happen. They're going to have to bring in somebody new, because that person, no matter how bad they do, is going to be rebuilding from this mess, and they'll have the goodwill to go after and make big moves. No one's going to trust him. No one's going to like him, and this is going to end up with him being sent off to greener pastures.
I agree with you, and that's what should be. It's just the only thing I'd worry is just the owners, because they
not right away
claim to do that. But yeah, if it we'll just see. We'll have to see if they somehow win, beat the Grizzlies, and they're on the road for this game. Memphis opening at a 6.5-point favorite. If they somehow win this game, I would like to see him actually push. Well, we still made the playoffs. But you have AD here. Kyrie's out for, remember, all of next year, too, with the ACL injury. So,
he's gone in 3 years. Go ahead. Bookmark it.
You're probably
or whatever.
Right. I'd agree with
gone
that.
In 3 years or less.
So, we had the Mount Rushmore of white rappers. Guess what? We got another viral Mount Rushmore. This genre is, let's see, the Mount Rushmore of R&B singers, if you agree with me. So whoever made this and went viral chose Michael Jackson, Neo, Usher, and Chris Brown for R&B.
No, obviously I disagree.
So I know R&B, the way the definition, it's very broad R&B. If Did you want the official R&B definition? R&B, short for rhythm and blues, is a genre of music that emerged from African American communities in the 40s. It is characterized as a blend of blues, jazz, gospel, and soul music, featuring rhythms, soulful vocals, and a focus on emotional storytelling. And these are the guys somebody picked that's going viral. So I do think Usher, Michael Jackson, you can make an argument.
Yeah,
Chris
I think so
Brown,
too.
maybe more hip hop. Neo, maybe more pop on this one. Well, that's what I'd see if I would keep these two in there, Usher and Michael Jackson. Even though I guess you could also argue Michael Jackson is an R&B is more pop because of his broad music.
He's king of pop, right? But I mean Prince is also pop, but he's R&B. Like that's kind of the thing with this. It's super broad, obviously, but my thing is actually less like, oh, these people are not really R&B singers. And I do agree Michael Jackson and Usher probably could be on there. But like some of the people that we're not talking about, because we put Neo and Chris Brown, I would like to make that clear. And I like both of their music. I want to say that right now. But and this is just men, by the way. We're ignoring all women.
Yeah, true. Like Beyonce should be in there. Mary J. Blige.
Right. Beyonce. You've
Alicia
got
Keys.
Mary J. Blige. You've got what's it called?
Alicia Keys is one.
Aretha Franklin. Aretha Franklin. Right?
Stevie
But you also
Wonder.
got, you're missing guys like,
Marvin
Stevie
Gaye.
Wonder. You're missing Whitney Houston, Marvin Gaye, right? Like you've got these people, Ray Charles. Like you've got so many people who could be in like this category of R&B to land on Neo and Chris Brown as the other two. Like I get it. You want to talk about newer, right? All right. Usher maybe is like the kind of the standard bearer for that genre in more modern times. And yeah, there's people who are newer than him who are doing great stuff, but he's still kind of the top of that. And someday maybe somebody will surpass him. But like there's such a long history that you can't fit a Mount Rushmore. It's not possible.
Yeah, right.
There's too much history there. You know what I mean? Like you could do one in which none of those people feature. You could do one in which none of those people feature, and every single one of the artists had their debut album before 1970 something. You know what I mean? Like you could throw Stevie Wonder, Aretha Franklin, like you can do all Ray Charles, Anita Baker. That's 4 right there that you could do. And all those people released albums, their first album, well before that Michael Jackson was an adult. You know what I mean?
Forget R. Kelly.
I don't think we forgot R. Kelly so much as excluded.
R. Kelly.
Just because he slept with them little girls doesn't mean he wasn't talented.
I
can't.
Listen to me, Jose.
I can't sign off on that.
I didn't actually say anything about his talent level. I just said excluded.
He's got to be in there.
He does not. I just
Pete
told
Rose.
you there's a million people who could be on the Mount Rushmore.
No R. Kelly for me.
Oh, come on, guys.
None of them have Tina Turner. We didn't use Tina Turner.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Honest question. And would you put Chris Benoit in the Hall of Fame?
No. No.
Minus the Gilmore family.
You can't.
No, you can't minus that. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
it's
right,
unminusable.
Listen,
it's unminusable. Well, minus
is.
you know what that is? You know what that is? That's a other than that,
doom.
That's a double standard.
No, that's
doom.
no. Ready?
Doom.
It's
Doom.
no.
That gets 3 dooms.
It's this. It's
Doom.
it's
Doom.
it's the other than that, Ms. Lincoln. How was the play? That's what that is. Have you ever heard that saying that the Secret Service brought her back to the White House after her husband been shot at Ford Theater and said, well, other than that, Ms. Lincoln, how was the play? Like, that's you right now being like, other than the
R.
whole family
Kelly,
dying,
no.
how did that go? Or other than the, the illegal activity with those young children, how he's great. And sure, I'll agree with you. Other than that horrible thing he did, he's a good singer.
You're not in the Hall of Fame because of what you did outside of your musical talents. That's my point. You guys are looking at outside of musical.
My point is, if you do what you did to children, or in the Chris Benoit case, if you murder your entire family over the course of a weekend, I don't care any longer how good you were at anything else.
I agree.
That's it. I'm done. I don't care anymore. Everything before and after turns off. I'm like, man, that was really bad. Like, I might even say, wow, that's really bad. He was such a good wrestler too. But I'm not going to be like focused on the good wrestler bit. Or in R. Kelly's case, oh, I really like Ignition Remix. I do, by the way. I still listen to that song.
You still
Doesn't
listen to
mean-
that?
Yeah. Well, the song didn't do anything wrong.
I'm so confused. And why it's okay to put Michael Jackson and what he did.
Because he's he was found not guilty. That's why.
That's what I mean. One, he was found not guilty.
Okay,
but two,
can I ask you a
it's
question?
different.
Let
There
me
was
ask
no
you a que-
trafficking or any of the other stuff. There was like a harem. The R. Kelly thing is crazy. If you listen to the whole story, it's insane.
Molested one kid and molested 1,000 is still the same. Point
No,
blank.
it's definitely not.
When
It's very important that they're not the same,
with,
by the
with
way.
With Michael Jackson telling her, I love to sleep with little kids, admitted that's what he likes to do in the bedroom is sleep with little
slumber
kids.
Party because he was
I
a
give
child
two
perpetually.
shits, my guy. You're 47 years old and you think it's cool to sleep with other kids and nothing happened?
Joe Jackson destroyed that man's whole life.
That does not still give him the right to go sleep with, be like, hey, let me go sleep around with little other people's kids.
But they took him to court and he was found not guilty. Like this is just, it's not the same. I'm sorry, it's not the same.
Just because, listen, just because O.J. Simpson was found not guilty, we all fucking know he did it.
But I'm saying if they went and said O.J. Simpson is in the Hall of Fame, is he in the Hall of Fame? He might be.
Yes, he is.
I got no problem with that.
What the fuck? He murdered his
killed
wife and some guy.
I know what he did, and I have a personal
okay.
moral problem with it. But I would never say O.J. Simpson can't be in because I say he killed his wife, and you could say no, he didn't. And I would say you're being ridiculous. Of course he did, but you could say, well, he went in front of a jury and they said no, he didn't, and that's true. Like that's true. He went in front of a jury and they said no, he didn't. So I could sit here till I'm blue in the face, be like, yes, he did, yes, he did, yes, he did. End of the day, in the eyes of the American legal system, no, he didn't. And so, again, would I want him to be in the Hall of Fame? No. Would I choose him to be in the Hall of Fame? No. Can I see why other people did? Yes. When it comes to these other people, like R. Kelly and like Chris Benoit, not only did they do something bad, we know they did that and they were found guilty of doing it. Like, they were found guilty. So in addition to doing bad things, everybody knows. They announced it on TV. It was a jury listened to the case and said, yeah, he did that. Like, there's just no denying. There's no plausible deniability. You know what I mean?
Well, let's switch to other things, I guess. But do a productive conversations favorite, the return of Game is Game. From one bad advice to
it's a glorious advice. Everybody should take it.
I bet you Game is Game would call you crazy for that.
Probably would.
No, I don't think so. He'd probably agree with Jose.
No, he wouldn't. He likes Michael Jackson.
So Game is Game. Let's have some new Game is Game stuff, guys. Let me show you what we have. We have four pieces of advice being offered to us. Let us start with the text game.
Okay.
Fellas, over the last few years, I think there's been some kind of confusion. This making a woman wait don't really work in texting. Making yourself seem busy or whatever, you could try that shit, but I guarantee you, look at how much pussy you was getting before you started making women wait, and look at how much pussy you get now that you make women wait. I guarantee you ain't hardly seen much of an increase at all, because that shit don't really work. The key to texting is being interested in making the woman feel comfortable and progressing towards something. You can make a woman wait for 4 to 5 hours if you want to. But when you come back and you reply, and it's some boring shit, then you just still another boring motherfucker. Meanwhile, you should be texting the woman back to back if you can. You should be fishing to find out what the fuck she desire, and at least putting on the illusion that you can provide that for her. You go ahead and you let a bitch fucking wait 6 hours, before you text her back. Meanwhile, interesting dude like me gonna come through, and I promise you, I ain't gonna waste no time taking your pussy. Oh, the text game.
Wow,
I totally
That's
agree
crazy.
with
He didn't game his game that one. He was serious. That was with his whole chest that last bit.
He's right though. The waiting game was always the worst piece of advice I've ever heard, and it doesn't work.
I agree with that. Obviously, of course, game is game. Eloquent with words as always. So don't take anything I say after this as being co-signing with the way he said any of it. But he's right. Waiting. What are you waiting? Like, basically what you're telling somebody if you make them wait, quote unquote, is that something is more important than getting to know you.
Yep. Not
And if that's
interesting.
right, and if that's the case, then fine, that's the case. But then to wait, like they said, and come back with a, oh yeah, sorry, been busy at work. Unless you're like I don't know, unless you run the Secret Service or something cool, or race car driver, you can't be busy at work, right? Like that's not cool. Oh, I had a lot of emails. No, no one cares. That's not cool.
Exactly.
No one's
Everybody,
happy
we're not
about that.
stupid, man.
So
We're
like,
not stupid.
it's not even just about stupid. It's like, even if you're totally honest, oh, I was really busy at work. You're not. That's not that interesting, right?
Exactly. And we all have our
I'm not
phones.
saying
We
you have to have a
all
cool
will talk
job
to who we
to
want
get
to
a
talk to.
girl. Right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, exactly. It's like, it's not even saying like, oh, you have to have a cool job to get a girl or talk to a girl or a guy or whoever. But like, if you're gonna go somebody, you need a good reason. Essentially, even if
Right.
and I was waiting is not a good reason. So that's why I agree with this.
And that's where the term bad texter is a lie. There's no such thing as a bad texter. That's just somebody choosing not to text you. And that's bad.
Well, I did say that. There are people
I'm
who are
saying
bad
in general.
texters in that they don't text anybody.
Well, you know what?
Yeah, I'm saying there are people
who
who just don't text anybody.
Those people are not
hard to date.
They're not in the realm, because if they really tried, I'm sure they would figure out a way if they really liked them.
I think there's everybody, even worse texters. If you really wanted it or you're really interested, you're gonna do it.
Hence why
100% I agree with that.
I think that's why
texting doesn't exist.
bad texting.
And I'm
that
saying,
rule doesn't
even if
work.
they are a bad texter, right? Even if they're like, oh, I don't ever respond, that's fine. But like, you don't know this person. That's why you're texting them, right? So if you're trying to get to know somebody who doesn't respond to you, you're not going to get to know them. And that's going to make it so you can't progress. Like you said, you're not progressing toward anything if you can barely get a word in with them because they're a bad texter. So whether it's true or not is irrelevant. It is damaging to their ability to connect with people, since most people connect via text.
Exactly, Mr. Page. So now in this little series we have, this is going to be how to talk to this type of girl, how to talk to this girl, right? Let's first talk to how to talk to a depressed girl.
Oh boy.
Source of her depression. And
how to talk to a depressed girl, everybody.
How to talk to depressed bitches. Guys, you ever come across a bitch who just sad all the time? Well, what you don't want to do is try to get on her level of depression. But you do have to fake it at first just to find out the source of her depression. And then turn that shit off. Now it's time to get this bitch some hope. If she mad about some kind of tragic event, go ahead and feed her that bullshit line about how she deserves better. But don't dwell on it, because that bitch probably don't deserve shit. But blaming somebody else for her circumstance is all she want to hear right now. Also, you need to come off as having the opposite lifestyle of what she have. Most likely, she live a bored and depressed life. You need to come off as somebody who's adventurous and a little bit outgoing to fill that void. Also, don't disagree with depressed bitches. Even if you feel like they being hard on themselves, being understanding will get you way more pussy than trying to be convincing. After doing all this, and she still don't give you no ass, don't blame her. Just go fuck somebody else till she come around. Game is game.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Don't stoop on to their level. Give them the validation. Ryan, you have your head pointing to the ground. Do you not agree with this?
It's not that I. It's not like it's not like a full on like.
Well, Jose, why don't you want to break it down?
Jose, you
then?
go first. I have to put this. I have to sort through this in my brain.
If you're dying to get with a depressed bitch, you gotta go down that level and be like, you gotta make them feel like you can relate, even though you don't. And then once you get to a certain level of this, and like, you either just gotta bang it out or keep it fucking moving. You're gonna have to drop her soon. Like, you don't want that shit fucking. It's like a fucking toxic fucking environment that you're just gonna put yourself into. So you basically just want to smash and go. You're just gonna be like, yeah, fuck your parents, blah blah blah, and keep it moving and get it in. and then get out. And then you realize that the whole time this bitch is crazy, but her pussy's good, but that bitch crazy. I gotta go. And that's it.
Wow.
Is
Game
that
is
so?
game.
That was somehow less eloquent than the actual video, Jose, and I just wanted you to know that.
Facts is facts.
So I'll say something along the lines of this, right? If you're interested in somebody who is depressed or showing depressive symptoms, right? I do think listening and even relating to as best you can is more effective than trying to, argue or, look at the positive. That's definitely not a first step, certainly. But what I would say is if you're interested in somebody who's going through something, find out, I like that part. Find out what they're upset about. I wouldn't placate what they're upset about so much as try to understand why they're upset about it, and then be a person that they can rely on when they're
What the
upset.
fuck, Ryan?
That would be what I would say.
Are you trying to fucker or be a therapist? God damn, Ryan.
Both.
You can't do both.
Sure you can.
No, you can't.
I'm actually
Happens all the time.
I'm gonna side with Ryan on this one.
You
I think it's
can't.
possible.
Literally, you cannot because depressed bitches, they'll always find something to be depressed about. Even if you fucking somehow put your Pope cap. As soon as you put, I'm telling you, as soon as you put your Pope cap on, Ryan, and you figure that first problem, guess what? You're gonna have to figure the second problem.
I mean, listen, women who have depression are fairly similar to men who have depression, and men who have depression are never, called, needy or anything like that.
They're
So-
never happy. They're always depressed. They gain fucking weight. They fucking want to go play
That's what
video
I'm
games.
saying.
Yeah,
What I'm saying to you is both groups, if they have someone who's listening, genuinely listening, not listening to get it in and get out, genuinely listening, they can get better. They do, and sometimes that's all they need. Sometimes they need more, and you're just a person, you can't provide them more, right? But sometimes all they do need is someone to feel like they heard them. And you can be that person who was there when they needed someone to hear them. And if there's a romantic spark between you two, if there's a chemistry between you two, it's not going to hurt that you were the person that they trusted or that they went to while they were dealing with something. And if there's no spark, there's no spark. But I'm saying that if there's a spark there, being the person that was around, trying to be helpful when you could, trying to be listening when you couldn't, right? That is going to work.
I'm sorry. I thought this was game is game.
This is game is game.
No, this is not game.
Ryan is Ryan.
It's called
This
the
is
long
fucking
game is game.
It's change your
Long game
fucking
is
life.
game.
That press
This
help
is
you, bitch.
this is long game is game.
This is
Long game is
fucking
game.
the
Ready?
worst-
Long game is game. Playing the
fucking
long
worst-
game.
Yeah, this is playing fucking Monopoly. Nobody ever finished that shit. They all fucking
Long
quit.
game is game.
My God. Game would listen to this, it would be so fucking depressed about this.
I gotta be honest with you, couldn't care less.
You guys are funny. I got this one now. This one is how to talk to hood girls.
Ah, sure.
Can't wait for Ryan's point of view on this one. Take some notes.
This is Ryan. This will enlighten us all. How to talk to hood girls. All right.
I think you start by not calling them that. That's probably my first bit of advice, but let's see.
I love that. I love that, Ryan. That's a good one. All right, come on, game is game.
How to talk to a hood bitch. Hey, y'all, one day you're going to come across a badass little hood bitch, and you're going to be able to spot these women by the way that they talk and by the way that they dress. They talk like one of your homeboys, but they dress sexy as fuck at the same time. Now, with these women, you need to come off just like them. Unlike the shy type who wants somebody opposite, these women want somebody who's just like them. So you need to come off showing that you have some turmoil going on. Show that you're a little bit unstable, unpredictable, and dysfunctional. They love that shit. They thrive off of having drama going on. You got to constantly renew the relationship with these kind of women. Now, you're probably asking yourself, well, if I'm a good dude, I can't have a girl like this. You can if you got enough money. And she'll stay with you. But that gangster dick coming from somewhere else. So if you're not naturally a thug or an asshole, don't get with these women. Because they demand a strong mental presence. And at the same time, these bitches can fight. So giving them what they want could get your ass beat. Be careful out there. Game is game. How to talk to
All right, who wants to break that down?
Go ahead, Ryan, please.
I mean, that advice. Let's look at that advice. Let's just put that advice together. That advice was be unstable because they're unstable. That's the advice. That's one. Two, if you're rich enough, it doesn't matter if you're not unstable, but they are cheating on you. Also, they might beat you up no matter what. That wasn't even advice. That was just a story. He was just telling a tale about probably a relationship that he was in or a person that he was talking to. Yeah, I mean, I don't know that I have a better thing to say because I don't necessarily I don't know how a person who lives in like quote unquote the hood would be that much different than talking to anybody else in general, but for obvious reasons, let me finish. For obvious reasons,
I'm laughing. I'm just laughing.
I know. I'm talking to Jose. Let me finish. For obvious reasons, I'm definitely not an authority on this subject. So while I will maintain that from an untrained ear, that sounded like stupid advice, I have nothing to counter it with. And as we know from our previous episodes, we talk about things like the election or whatever. You can't beat something with nothing. So if you're looking for advice, he has some, and I don't. So I guess you have to do what Game is Game says.
Game is Game advice will save your life. But them HUD bitches.
Sure.
So you would say he's spot on, Jose?
Oh, fuck, you ain't spot on. I agree with everything you just said right there. Them bitches are dangerous as fuck. One. Two is you can't come in with that Pope Brain shit. You gotta come on. You gotta come on strong. Like you gotta.
Well, I don't believe you strong and Pope can't go together. Pope's very strong.
No. They take that Pope shit and they'll make you whip your ass with it. You can't. It's like a wild stallion, a wild horse. You gotta tame that bitch. You gotta let them know who daddy
you know
is.
what? You know what the actual problem? Seriously, you know what the actual problem is, Jose. Now I do have an answer. This was good. This gave me a little bit more of a buffer to talk about it. Here's the thing: when you talk to somebody, guys. And Jose and Matt might disagree. I know Jose will disagree. I don't know if Matt will. A lot of people walk into a conversation with what he used the phrase bad, right? A bad, yeah. Anyway, and so they got one thing on their mind, right? They want to get it in. And I get it. Like, that's fun. Sure. But here's the reality. Every guy, whether they're a pope or not, or game is game, every guy who wants to get some is trying too hard. Fact. I don't care what anyone says. Everyone who wants some is currently trying too hard. Why? Because we can't help it. We want something, and we're going to try to get it. That's human nature. And it's not just guys. It's guys and women. Guys or women who are in that kind of mood want that. And they're going to try extra hard for it. Now, the difference is, if a woman really wants something like that and tries really hard, most guys will be down. If a guy is really into something, it's a little bit more of a, you have to be a little bit better at what you're doing. The way around that is talking to people to get to actually know something about people. Folks can see when you're using them. Everyone can. They might not be able to put their finger on it. They might not be able to say that person's using me, but they can see when you're not being real. They can see fake. Everyone can. Sometimes they turn it off because they want to believe, right? And that's that separate issue. Everyone can see fake. So walk into every conversation real. If I decided to do what Jose did to talk to somebody who was quote unquote hood, it wouldn't work. It could never work. Why? Because I'm not Jose. That's not who I am naturally, and they'll know that. It'll be me pandering, trying to be what they want. That won't work, especially if these people are actually hostile. Right? You're saying these women are hostile. Don't go to a hostile person and lie to them. You're gonna get beat up. Be yourself. Be honest. Get to know people. If they like you, they like you.
I love how this episode came for full circle. Just in the beginning of this podcast, we talking about how fucking Katy Perry was talking nonsense, and now we got Ryan to end the show talking nonsense.
That wasn't nonsense. That was good advice.
God damn,
You
Ryan.
just said that they beat people up. These women beat you up. That's what
The
you said
point,
to me.
the story is how to get a hood bitch. Well, you
Yes.
gotta be very dominant. You can't be a
Or
soft.
you just be yourself.
What the fuck?
Your open,
Ryan?
authentic self. It's not dominance. You don't have to beat anyone into submission. You just have to be yourself, your true self. That will be enough. People will see that, be like, that person's confident. That person is who they are. And they don't care what I think or what anyone else in the room thinks. They're just going to be who they are. They believe in what they believe in. That's confidence. And when you have confidence, you do come across as more, I don't want to say dominant, but you do come across as someone who is more formidable, who is more stable. If you have no confidence, if you're just being whoever you're supposed to be, if you're trying to play confident, trying to play whatever, everyone knows you're faking. None of you are that good. None of you are Leo DiCaprio. Nobody's Oscars coming in the mail. We all know you're lying. We all know you're swimming in the deep end and you forgot your floaties. Okay? So don't do it. Be yourself, your authentic, confident self, and that will be enough. People will dig it, or if it's not their thing, they might not dig it, but you know what? They'll respect you. And they'll be like, all right, yeah, not for me. But whatever. He's a good dude. And that means you didn't strike out. You just have to find a different pitch.
All right.
Game is game.
Ryan is Ryan.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
Finally, last but not least, how to talk to a religious girl.
Oh, can't wait for this one.
So we had maybe the hood one is more Jose's territory, religious girls more Ryan's territory, right?
Yeah, Ryan better school. Ryan better school me on this.
Let's hear what Game is Game has to say.
That's a quote. Ryan better school me on this. As Jose schooled Ryan on how to talk to a hood girl.
He did not, though. That's the main difference.
Ryan, you came up with some bullshit. Be yourself, some Barney shit. That shit don't work.
Barney. That's not Barney.
God damn, they got this hood bitch with like four
I'll tell you
motherfuckers
what.
around her.
There's a
All
strong chance that my advice for this is very similar to the advice for the other one. But let's hear what Game is Game says.
Go ahead.
Bitch. Hey, y'all, religious women are some of the most hardest women to fuck because they always want to get married before they have sex. But that pussy be tingling. They got urges just like the rest of us. So if you want to fuck this woman, do not come off as the bad guy. You need to come off with a mixture of charm and a shared interest in her religion. So if you want to charm a religious woman, keep the conversation short and always try to leave on a high note because it's very easy to blow your cover. Now, when it comes to having a shared interest in her religion, you're going to need to go to church, wear a fucking cross, walk around with a Bible, wear a dashiki, wear a fucking turban, wear whatever you need to make it look believable. Now, once you gain her trust, you can flip her trust by renormalizing some of the shit that she think is normal. And one of those things is going to be fucking before marriage. You're going to have to let her know that you need to do this in order for the relationship to progress. When you leave this woman, she is going to be broken, fucked up, and bruised. But at least you got God. Game is game.
Yes.
How to talk to a religious bitch.
We heard you the first time. Game is Game.
Wait, oh wait,
That's
so
actually,
hold on, wait. Oh,
that's
so
actually true because I have a past experience with that. But go ahead, Ryan, please school me.
No, I would love to hear about your past experience.
Well, there was two girls. I went to a Stanford church because I like Spanish bitches, and I went to this Christian church just like fucking around or whatever. And then I was trying to tell them, I lied to them. It was like I'm trying to change my life. All I really wanted was like at first I believed like church girls were like, yo, you need a good girl. Like you don't want no cheating, like fucking hood bitch or anything like that. I was done
Oh,
with
back
that.
to that now. Jesus. All right, continue.
Then I got this so the first church girl was like whatever, made me go to fucking Bible study and shit. All right, so I played along with it. I got really good at kind of spitting my game about Bible verses and stuff like that. and I got it in. But then this bitch got crazy on me talking about how the fucking I got seduced by the devil, blah blah blah, and this shit. And I'm like, yeah, I think it's time for me to go. And then she got pissed off. Like I had to go to a different church to try to bag another girls. It was the worst shit ever. But Go ahead, Ryan. Please school me.
So I'll say we'll start first off. If you're not religious or not overly religious, let's go with that. Because there are people who like, well, Catholics especially. At this point, I think just this is a personal belief of mine that there is such thing as a cultural Catholic. People who are not particularly well practicing Catholics, who are culturally Catholic, they grew up Catholic, grew up within the church, they're from a community like again, I'm Irish and Italian. A lot of people who are who have family from Mexico are kind of in this category as well. But anyway, so if you're not super religious and you're with somebody, a partner who makes you learn Bible passages, run. That's not for you. That's not the game. That's not a game. It's not a game to them. This is real life to them. So definitely don't get involved with that. Now, if it's someone who is just more religious, right? Not maybe more religious than you, but not crazy. We're not going to Bible study every week, but they might wear a cross. They're they are Sunday church goers, right? They're doing the whole save themselves from marriage. I do obviously think it's important to talk about your faith or lack thereof. I don't believe it's a deal breaker to not have the same faith as them, whatever that might sound like to you. But you got to be interested in what they're doing. Like you have to be understanding. So like if you don't believe in any of this, you can't go around calling it all a crock. You know what I mean? You got to be like, all right, like let them talk, let them hear what they have to say. Be interested in their perspective, even if you don't really agree with it. And as far as what everybody wants to know, right? It's how do you flip that one little thing, the before marriage deal. That's what everybody is waiting for. If that's what you're trying to do, flip that. You have to be honest and say, kind of what I can't believe I'm saying this, similar to what Game is Game said. That look, I like you, I like this, but a relationship is more than just what we're currently doing. And I can't jump into a forever relationship with somebody that I haven't connected with intimately and know that that's something that I'm okay with and enjoy doing, etc., etc. That's fair. I think that's entirely fair. And I say this as someone who does go to church. That is a fair thing for people to ask. To say, this is something that will be a big part of our life if we are together forever, and I'm not looking to find out about it after it's impossible not to do this. And so I think that's fair. I think most, by the way, people in modern day, if they're not the Bible ones that are making you go to Bible study, Jose, will agree with that. As Game is Game pointed out also correctly, people who are religious are still people. They still feel the same biological needs that the rest of us. That I say the rest of us. I go to church on Sunday. People who are religious still feel biological needs. So I think that you can just be honest. Say I'm not. I can't go forward without making this a part of our relationship. No, yes, I can't go forward without intimacy being a part of the relationship. And
right, Ryan, you do go to church every Sunday?
I hadn't in a long time.
But I'm just curious.
Recently, the last 2 months, I have gone every Sunday. Yes, but before that, I hadn't been since my dad. No, since I had a friend whose mother died. I went to her services.
But you go to the church on the reg now.
At the moment, yeah.
Nice. Okay, cool. Well, that's nice.
Again, unrelated. My point is.
So would you say would you suggest these if like say Jose was single, would you put him on to the religious girls if he was single?
No. So and that's the other
no,
thing.
You heard that, Jose? Ryan wanted to
No, it's not. It's not disrespectful. No, let me finish. Just let me finish. It's not about disrespect or anything like that. What it is to me, and I believe that there are a lot of people who are like this, and honestly, stats back it up. Gen Z is the first generation to hold steady in terms of religious affiliation, as opposed to having less religious affiliation than their parents. That's just a fact. Millennials and Gen X both less so than their parents. Gen Z is the first one. They're the flat line. People are, for whatever reason, turning to faith. I think a lot of them are turning to ridiculous expressions of faith, like those Bible girls that we talked about offline, or as Jose said, the people who need you to do Bible study with them, and then when they make a totally human decision, scream about how they were seduced by the devil. That's weird. And you're not Christian, you're acting. But that's beside the point. So what I will say is that most normal people who are still religious, it is important to them. In Jose's particular case, it's not important to him, which makes it harder. Now, not everybody needs it to be. I've got a friend who is religious, whose husband is not. She goes to church by herself, but it works. They're fine with it. He's fine with her religion. She's fine that he doesn't have one. They understand why they came to those conclusions, and that's that. And that's cool, but that's rare. For a lot of people, it's hard to get over having a difference of belief because it's about faith, right? If you don't have faith in something and you think it's all like made up, and you got a person in your life who does believe it, you're gonna be like, dude, what the heck? Or lady, why are you like this? I would also say not every religious person is, necessarily all in on the literal Bible. Some people, myself included, understand that it's a book of allegories and stories about how to live, try to live and how to try and think in a way that's not about yourself. It's about being a little bit more selfless. It's a book about sacrifice, but it's not necessarily a literal word from God that needs to be
literal
followed
blueprint.
as written. Right. But some people do, and you got to be aware of the difference between those people too. Someone like me maybe has a little bit more leeway with certain things. Someone who thinks it's the literal word, they're going to have a little bit more opinions about certain activities that you try and ask them to do. And it won't just, by the way, it's not just the ones that you expect. There's other ones too.
Yeah. Well, regardless, though, I think we all got a good perspective on things. Good job, Game is Game. Good job, Ryan, Jose. Good job to everybody who checked us out today. Again, successful week is in the books. We will see you late Sunday night with a WrestleMania 41 reaction, then another TweetCap on Tuesday after that, and then an NFL draft, and then another sports TweetCap, and another TweetCap after that. And NBA playoff reactions. So all the good things ahead. So let's have a great weekend. Enjoy yourself. Happy Easter to everybody who celebrates. Happy Passover to everybody who celebrates. And we'll see you next week with another slate of great shows.
Yeet.